I guess another kind of question I wanted to really bring up is this whole idea of, as a shoutcaster, dealing with criticism. Now, obviously, it's one of these things where a lot of players or people that have been concurrently playing, maybe in the minor leagues, and are interested in shoutcasting, are interested in getting into content creation and kind of bridging that divide. How difficult is it, or was it, when you first started to shoutcast, dealing with criticism, dealing with toxicity, and overcoming that mindset?
Well, I know for Johnny Boy, he's always so self-confident and so like blasé that I feel like he doesn't even worry about it unless it's criticism from someone he really respects, right?
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, I would treat it differently if a co-worker, a co-caster, told me something.
Hmm.
Obviously, I would listen. But if someone, an armchair analyst on Reddit, says something, probably just gonna have a laugh about it. It's not where I would look forward to, or it's not where I would look to get any advice to improve at this stage in my career. But I say at this stage because I did in the past, and I would in the past look at comments more because it was just something I'm getting started with, and I want to see, okay, how do people actually like this? I don't know if they do. So I would look at the comments and see what people can advise me on. And yeah, I did learn a lot from just the community in the past, but I think now it's very difficult to learn from the community because I think that genuinely Rocket League commentary is at a pretty good place. I think everybody's actually, well, at least on the main broadcasts, are really, really good at what they do. So it's not at that really early days where, if you look back 4 or 5 years ago, the casting was pretty bad. There were things that could be pointed out by community and just on social media that would be true and you could learn from. But now I think that it's actually pretty good. So it's more about the small refinements and about the small changes that are better when you take it from someone who actually knows you and knows your craft well and what's going on behind the scenes. It's not like a
Mm.
complete style change like it was back in the day. Yeah, I do agree with what Yummy said though. I don't really no, it doesn't bother me when I see comments about people who don't like my content, my casting, whatever it is, me, my personality. Yeah, it doesn't bother me
Mm.
because you can't please everyone. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't like try to. I guess
Mm.
my theory on that is you can't please everyone, so don't be upset when you
Yep.
clearly don't. It's not something to worry about. But I do think one of the things that I've stuck to, and I believe is the reason that people are usually just either okay at worst about my casting, is try not
Mm.
to be annoying when you're casting. Because I know that there's some casters who think that being edgy and being, whoa, look how crazy I am. This is, wow, that was really awkward. How cool and awkward is that? I totally disagree with this kind of way of casting. I think that if you're making the viewer feel awkward, you're doing a bad job. If you're making them feel
Yep.
uncomfortable, you're probably doing a bad job. You can make jokes, you can make, jabs at your co-caster without making the viewer think that you're arguing or having a bad time. And yeah, that's probably another
Mm.
big one is just actually try and seem like you're enjoying yourself because sometimes I listen to casting, I'm thinking, do these guys even want to be here? Do they even like this game? Do they like casting this game? Doesn't sound like it. They're just like, so they sound so sad. And if you took everything that they're saying and just said it with a smile, it would be fine. But because they're not smiling, because they're sad boy hours, it sounds terrible. So yeah, that's kind of my take on the whole. Don't try and please everybody. Some people use it as an excuse. You can't please everyone, so don't.
Mm.
It's not. It
Mm.
shouldn't be as an excuse. It's more like, don't let it bother you when somebody doesn't like you, but you should still strive to be the best and that you can be, and definitely don't be don't be an annoying caster. Just let people enjoy the game. Don't ruin their immersion with bad patter or banter,
it
I should say, the English word.
It's super funny as well that you say that because I kind of went the opposite direction. Sort of, I started as a caster purely focusing on not being bad and
Mm.
like being palatable to everyone, and I achieved that. But I, at the same time, I never felt like at the time I didn't have like a great strength. I didn't have a reason for people to really love me, or that I felt like was amazing or anything like that. I didn't work on what was good at the
Mm.
same time. So I was like a really good mid-level caster who people just didn't dislike. And I think part of that was, most of the people I got feedback from was from players, and players and viewers are often likely to give, yeah, you were dumb, you said this wrong, this sounded stupid, you're an idiot. More on the negative feedback if you're making mistakes rather than saying this was good, which is important when it comes to that feedback. And I'm kind of the opposite of Johnny Boy. If I see one negative comment and 20 positive comments, my brain instantly focuses on that negative comment, and like I get that pit in your stomach, kind of, oh man, I suck feeling. But I have gotten better at it. But on the same note, I still go through comments and I still read it up. There's not usually a single comment that is directly helpful. A lot of feedback is a lot of like, I hate this caster.
Yeah, feedback.
And you need yeah, exactly. It's not feedback, but you can actually, or I have gained a lot of improvement from comments of people not giving serious feedback, because I've then taken those kind of moments and try to figure out, okay, what is that person disliking about me in that space? I had somebody person's like say, oh, that guy's just yelling, and I'm like, that's not really at the time very useful feedback. But I went through and looked at the cast, and what was actually happening is that like my energy level was kind of going here and then jumping really solidly when you kind of want to have a bit of a smoother curve. And me, with the knowledge that I have, can figure that out. I had to dig deep on a negative comment that made me feel bad. So I do seek them out, but they definitely make me feel bad. They always will. And that usually means that when I am talking to other casters about what they're doing, at least nowadays, I try and be soft about things and give full-on feedback rather than straight criticism, because, if they're feeling bad, then there's a chance that they won't ever learn from you.
I don't think, by the way, that Yummy, you fall into the category of casters I was describing at all, where it's just people trying to be awkward and
No,
trying to
I don't think so either.
almost annoy the viewer, and I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, you've got a very like just dry delivery that I'm sure some people just won't get, because across borders in different countries, that's not really a thing. So yeah, it might just take, but it might just take a while for some people to get it. But yeah, I think once people do get it, generally, you're a very popular guy. I know you and CJ as a duo were extremely popular when you commentated my the twos part of Fusion last year on my channel. People were loving it because it was just so funny and different. You're just roasting CJ all the time, so you can definitely do that as well. I think it's actually awesome that you can have that in a commentary pair, because some casters really struggle to be able to naturally just roast the other caster that they're with without it feeling awkward. Obviously, so that's not something that you struggle with at all when you're casting with CJ, because he's so easy to make fun of. But for other casters, they try and roast their buddy, and it's like, oh, it's a bit awkward, isn't it? It doesn't really work.
Offensive or whatever.
Yeah, you can definitely learn from comments still to this day. But yeah, it's usually just hateful comments, like you said. Like, I just don't like this guy. This guy's so annoying. And it always feels like they're hiding under the rock until you do something, and they're like,
it's driving right at my heart. I understand.
This is my chance to get him. He messed up his word. He tried to, he tried to throw to a break, and it was the desk. What an idiot! And, that kind of thing. But yeah, you can still like see useful stuff. Maybe somebody will write something like, "Yummy Cheese Man is so annoying. He really needs to shave. And his mic keeps clipping." And you're like, "Oh, it is? Hold on." And you go check. Oh, yeah, he's right. It is clipping. Thank you, hater, for helping me improve my production value. Good. Just using the trying to read between all of the pointless hate to find anything that can actually be useful. Take it, steal it from them, then they're in the past, gone, not to be thought of.
That's actually a huge point too. If you want to avoid haters, weirdly enough, the better the quality of your mic and everything, the better you'll be as a caster.
Yeah, that's true.
Obviously, there's certain things that can't get past it, but if you've got a mic that peaks or goes louder than whatever, or can't handle you screaming or yelling or a louder volume at all, then you will sound like a bad caster. It doesn't matter how good of a caster you are. I just remember a couple of tournaments before I bought this mic, and I was like, "Oh man, I'm a terrible caster." I bought the mic, and I'm like, "Man, I sound great."
I'm amazing.